welcome to the Unleashing Your Best Self podcast. Today we are with a very good friend, Forrest Alethea. We met a few years ago in Barcelona, and I've been witnessing the way she has been growing and improving a lot for the previous years. It's amazing. I'm totally a role model. And well, today she's here and she's going to share a little bit of her story and how everything began for her, and yeah, maybe some secrets about how to start. We'll see. Welcome, Forrest. How are you today?
I'm feeling very light today. Yeah.
Very light.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to feel, I guess.
Yeah.
So, if I remember correctly, we met 4 years, 4 years ago?
2018. What year is it?
2022. Okay, 4 years ago.
Yep.
Right? And since then, well, I've seen you changing and going through different steps and stages in life. So maybe you can start with telling us how all this spiritual journey started for you. Like what brought you to all this new world?
Yeah. Actually it kind of started in 2018 and I didn't realize it at the time, but in 2018 I did a huge trip around the world and was really searching for my soul purpose, I realize now. And I was traveling for 5 months. I was searching for this reason, this deeper meaning behind my life. I was an artist and I was like, why am I making this art? Like, what's the deal? Like, I was just making and making and making and didn't have that like purpose. It felt like something was missing. And so fast forward to the next year, I came back to I came back to New York, not Mexico. Came back to New York, and I came back realizing that in those 5 months that I was gone, everyone is in the exact same spot. And I had grown and changed so much. And I was like, well, I can't keep living my life like this. And so it really propelled me to try to start my own business because I wanted to keep traveling and keep growing and keep learning because I actually felt alive in those months. And so I spent a year in New York building my business, and then I came to Mexico as one of my first stops. And my original intention when I came to Mexico 2 years ago was to keep going, to keep traveling. And I actually I met some friends here, but they all lived here, so I ended up staying. And it was in this journey.
I'm sorry to interrupt
you.
You are in Tulum, right?
I am in Tulum, yes.
Tulum. And you've been here for how long already?
I've been here for 2 years, which is insane.
Okay, you have to tell us also why you choose that place. Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I came to Tulum, and when I met all of these people and when the pandemic started happening, I found this new group of people. I really felt inside myself, like because of the pandemic, we all had to go inside of ourselves, right? It was a physical manifestation of the universe essentially telling us, hey, you guys are going outside, seeking these external things, external money, all of this, but everything lies within. And so I came upon, through this group, some breath work, some meditations. I learned how to release trapped emotions. And when I started getting curious about my internal world is really when everything shifted for me. So I've just kind of, since then, been on this journey of going deeper and deeper and deeper within that. And when you go deep within is truly when you find your light.
So everything kind of started when you start traveling. You started to realize that something else is there, and then living the life, right, in a different way. Okay. Because I mean, nowadays it's sad, but a lot of like most of the people are actually living a life that they think they don't have any choice to, right? Like they go to the same job every single day, and they just think this is the thing I have to do, and it's the way it is, and I cannot do anything to change it, and then they just go through that for months, years, lifetime, without really enjoying. They just live for the weekend, you know. It's like off the weekend they enjoy it, and the rest is pretty much like something it was imposed to them, even though of course it was, and they chose it. So when do you think, like, what will be the symptoms, if we try to say a name, that someone, when someone is having these symptoms, is time to do something different?
Time to make a change, yeah.
Yes.
I would say, I guess these symptoms, you'll feel it in your body as fear.
Fear.
And all of us have these symptoms. Every single one of us is scared to do something, and including myself. It's when you're on this path, it doesn't go away, but we just develop a different relationship with fear. So to go back to your question, if you feel like you need a change in your life, or if you feel like something just isn't sitting right, if you feel like you're worth more than either what you're getting paid or how you're living your life, if you feel like there's more to life, you're selling yourself short. And when you're selling yourself short, it's essentially a program within our matrix, within our consciousness, that holds us back in this realm of fear. And when we're in a state of fear, it's a frequency. And when you're in this frequency, it's essentially vibration, just to put it simply, and allow you to be in a state of expansiveness, of growing and learning and abundance. So your symptoms, it shows up differently for everyone, but just listen to your body and what it's actually saying. So when you're sitting alone in stillness, maybe you're trying to meditate, what is your body actually feeling? And connecting to what are these, symptoms that you're talking about. It's really, is there, like, are you feeling anxiety? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling any of these negative emotions? Because these negative emotions essentially tell us that something is wrong, and that is the messenger for our body to change.
Of course. Okay. So I guess, well, the way I see it is like usually people is in fear because they are kind of afraid of the future, right? Like, it's, of course, when they feel like they cannot change their own present moment, because they say, like, if I quit my job, what's going to happen tomorrow, or in 1 month, I have to pay the bills, I have to do this. So they don't really trust that there is higher consciousness taking care of us, right? And then if we just surrender, probably we will be surprised with beautiful, I don't know, gifts or blessings, or things are just going to work out in unexpected ways. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I was in that situation where, like, sometimes fear is just like embracing your whole being, and you just freeze, right? But yeah, I think, so what do you recommend to do? Okay, meditation, of course, it helps, but for some people, especially when you tell them, well, in my experience, I have telling, like, people, like, the key is to start meditating, start with that. And a lot of people, the first thing they say is like, I can't. Meditation is not for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, what do you recommend? Like, what could you say to those people who think, or they have tried it? Maybe they have tried to meditate, but they still feel like they cannot do it.
Absolutely. And this is something that we've all faced. I mean, even for me, I've had days where I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to meditate. So, meditation, we always think about meditation as we're sitting and being still. But meditation really comes from an awareness. It's not quite the stillness, but it's when you're able to take all of these thoughts that happen in your head, extract them, and just let in whatever is meant to be come into your body. And so that's to say, meditation can be dance. Meditation can be singing. Meditation can be when you're in flow. For me, it's when I'm painting. So meditation is truly when you're able to connect back to your body, and dance is the most beautiful way to connect back to your body. And I'm not talking like salsa dancing, you have all these steps. No, just moving your body. Physically, somatically, there's a thing called somatic therapy where you are physically releasing all of these trapped emotions and trapped energy that gets stuck in our bodies. And so when we dance and when we move, when we, could be you do yoga. Yoga's not for everyone though, right? Could be you're going to play a sport, could be running, but making sure that you're moving your body, and especially in kind of unconditional ways. So not just the same, like when you go to the gym, you make like a repetition movement, right? But when we break out of those patterns, when it's not a repetition, and we let our bodies flow in this whatever it's meant to be, then you allow for another energy to come in. And that's the energy that you're talking about, of the universe that's greater than you. So for those people, I would just say explore what meditation means for you, and don't have limits on it. We always like to put labels and limits. Oh, this is meditation, this is breath work. But we breathe every day, right? It's just bringing that awareness back into these practices.
Yes, that is so true. I mean, I guess that's why a lot of people, they really use the weekend to disconnect. Like they really, of course, not in the right way, because sometimes they use substances to go through that. But in the pure sense, that's what they're actually looking for, like a way to disconnect from the whole noise of the world. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting what you mentioned about just let the flow, let the body just flow, because it happens. This is something that I discovered with myself, that when I do this meditation through breathing, like very intense breathing using different techniques, literally my body, especially my arms, they take control. I don't move them. They just start to move in different beautiful ways, by the way. And when that happened to me, I was reading about that a little bit, because of course it's something that we are not expecting to happen. We are like our brain is sending the orders to our body, and then the body moves. But when that happened to me, it was literally, I was not trying to move my body, and my body was just moving freely and doing so many movements. And when I researched that, I read that the body is more intelligent than the mind. The body knows perfectly how to move the energy so it will flow in a more optimized or better way, right? So I totally agree with that. And there are so many, there are pretty much many kind of activities that can take you to a meditative state, right? Mm-hmm. So do you recommend like something specific, something like maybe could work for someone that nothing works? Like sometimes it's like people who really they have tried everything, and what would you say? Okay, try maybe this or this, and you are like almost sure that it could help them.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is something called toning, where it's essentially using your voice to make different sounds through vibration. And when you're toning your body, so it's just like when you're tuning a guitar, you can tune your own body through toning, not to get confused by the two. Essentially, what that means is making sounds with your body. For example, Om. You can start with Om. When you say Om, there's a frequency in your body happening. And all of our chakras or energy centers in our bodies need to kind of be tuned. We're just like a guitar, right? We got to tune ourselves. And so in something for people that have difficulty, especially with meditation or anything like that, meditation is more a passive practice. But when you get more into the active practices, you have to focus, right? And so when we put our focus somewhere, it gets way easier of, okay, if I have to make this sound 5 times in a row, I'm going to focus on making that sound 5 times in a row. And then when you start to play with the different pitches, the different frequencies, like just let your voice open to what's possible. And we all have a voice. And so for me, this actually was part of my healing journey, where I didn't feel seen and heard. And so a huge part of my practice was healing my voice through singing. And so toning has really, really been something for me that that's opened up a lot of avenues.
That's so interesting. These sounds that you mentioned are called mantras, if I am correct, right?
So it doesn't have to be a mantra. It can be a mantra. So it can be just like a short phrase that you say. However, I'm talking about let's dumb it down and make it the most simple form possible. Just sounds.
Just
so it could be, it could literally just be like ah, and then change the different pitches and the tones. So like start with A, E, A, O, U, and start with that and see what your body does. Listen, like just take a moment and listen to what your body does and how your body reacts and feel that. Because a lot of times in these practices, we're not, in our everyday lives, we're not in our bodies completely. We've forgotten how to feel because society teaches us that. So for you to just take a moment and come back into your body will open up these different realms within your physical body.
Amazing. That's a really good actually advice. I think that's maybe that's the reason why I love to sing.
In the shower.
That's great. Well, and then just to not make it too long, just one more thing, because something that it really impresses me, and I think is very remarkable about your journey, is that in all this spiritual path that you have been taking, you have developed some very specific and very cool skills. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you just? I mean, it's just like a sneak peek, maybe for the next episode. But can you just give us a sneak peek of what actually people can reach, can achieve when they start to really work on themselves?
Absolutely. So after you pass through this like huge healing journey, there's this point where you are able to tap into your own light. And what that means is you're tapping into your own energy. It's like if you went directly to like a battery, like an energy source. That is within you. And so some of the kind of skills that I've opened to and developed, and maybe were there all along that I just didn't realize, is one, channeling, for example. Now I open to what is called the Akashic Records, and I am able to open to messages from a higher source that people need to hear in this moment. So I could read your Akashic Records, for example, and I would channel those messages that you need to hear directly in this moment. And you could ask specific questions. You could, if you need an answer for something, or if you're curious about, okay, when will I meet my true love, or what is my purpose in life, we can ask those questions and you will get an answer that will kind of unlock that next step for you. And in that channeling, I've also been developing what's called light language, and essentially what is a visual representation of energy. And so in this light language, it's not like a language that you understand with the brain. Your brain will not understand it. You'll look at it and you're like, this looks like gibberish. But your body will remember these frequencies. Your body will understand these messages. Just like if you look at a painting, you feel something. You don't need to know in a language what that painting is, but your body understands that language. And so it's very similar to that. So yeah, those are some of the things that I've been doing.
Akashic Records and light language. Those sound like a very good topics for the next time, actually. But let's just give it a short, because probably it's a lot of information already for the people who is listening to us. But well, actually, this was really interesting and enlightening for me too. I really appreciate that we don't have much time, but I really appreciate that you accepted the invitation first, and it was really an honor to have you here. And we hope to have you again, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you want to share, you would like to share, and we want to know, because it's like a really, it's all these spiritual journeys. People think is something that you just do one time or two times and then you forget about it, but it's just like, it's a process for life, right? And it's also a process that is not easy, right? It's like destroying all what you are not to find what you truly are. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for being here. And well, we are so excited to have you, and we hope to have you again for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for opening this space to have these conversations. And a lot of these things, especially in the healing journey, feel scary and feel unknown as well. And so being able to talk about some of these things that our bodies are experiencing or that you're going through is super important to have that space. So thank you.
Perfect. No, thank you. And for sure, we have to repeat these events, because I think a lot of people need to start getting more into these topics. Thank you so much, Forrest, and send you a big hug to Tulum, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.